Read it. Read it.
Here we go. Take 4. What's up, guys? We're here today at Cus D'Amato's KO Boxing Gym with legendary coach George Young, aka the Iron Mullet, and your host Edwin Martin. Coach George Young is like the main trainer at this gym, and he's my coach. He's everybody's coach. I mean, he's just an amazing guy, and I wanted to take this opportunity to present him to you guys, so you guys get to know a little more about him, as well as me get to hear his story as well. So I'm very excited. So one of the first questions I'm going to ask you, Coach, is how the hell did you end up here? How old were you? What was it like when you got here?
Well, I was 14. I was coming home from school, which the school was right around the corner here, around the block, and walking home, and me and my brothers, and we heard the sound coming out of the gym down here, like a huffing and puffing. So we walked down the stairs and came through the door over there, and Cus was sitting here, and Jerry Rooney was training back then for, I think it might have been the Larry Holmes fight or a fight before Larry Holmes, and Cus, well, he made us sit down on the stage over there.
So you guys walk in and he said, "You boys sit right there."
Yeah, sit down if you want to, watch and all that. So we couldn't. So he made us sit down there, and then we were watching. And Jerry Rooney came over to us like he was trying to scare us. A big guy at the time,
Heavyweight, right? He was fighting Larry Holmes.
And so it made like a sound, like ground and all that, But and then after, Cus said to us if we wanted to come here, we had to, listen to our parents, be good in school, do good in school, and respectful. We can't, if we were to hear, later on, he says we couldn't go out in the school going around like big and bad. Now we're boxers are working out,
Okay.
And, things like that. We had to be respectful outside the gym.
Okay.
Otherwise, we weren't allowed to come here.
All right.
So, we started coming, and Teddy worked with us, and
Well, who's we? Who are you with?
my brothers. There was my 2 brothers, Greg and Gary.
Okay.
And then my 2 uncles started later on. There was, Kevin and Rodney. And then other guys came.
So it was
later
5
on.
youngs in here at that time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then we had other guys come. It was Maine Moore, Darren Ruff. And then we had, kids that weren't as serious, that we were mainly the serious ones. Me, my brother, Greg, and it was Jeff White here at the time, Billy White's, if you know Billy, I'm sure you know Billy White.
Yeah.
Billy White brother was here at the time, Jeff White. And we just started working out, coming in, and
You were the middle brother, though, weren't you? Or the
oldest.
Oh, you're the oldest. You're the oldest one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Now Teddy was here as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was working with Jerry, talking. We didn't really, it was like basically when we came in, the gym was basically he was done training. He was done. He was getting ready. He was done doing his workout and all that.
Okay.
So we just talked. Cus talked to us and told us that, and so we started coming. We came every day. He says, if we're here, that means you have to be here.
So at this time, Cus wasn't coming to the gym every day,
No.
right? So it was mostly Teddy that trained you?
So Cus would come like maybe a couple of times a week and sit down and watch, give a little input. Teddy was our trainer. He did the training to everybody.
Okay.
Cus would come in here a couple of nights, during the week, maybe on the weekend and Saturday. Maybe a total of 2 or 3 times a week. That was 7 days. We were here like 7 days a week.
Yeah.
We didn't come Monday to Friday. We come 7 days a week.
Really? The question I wanted to ask you was, did you pursue a fighting career?
Yeah, I had boxed amateur. I had about 125 fights.
Okay. What was your record?
Fights.
What was your record?
Well, I can't tell exactly wins because the losses weren't really losses at times because we used to have what they call them smokers. The red light's blinking again.
You're good.
Smokers, like they call them smokers, they weren't legal. They weren't AAU down in the city, and so they're not on my AAU amateur record.
Okay.
What's
AAU?
The amateur in the US, right? It's legal. When they fight, they got the AAU, the referees and all that. Okay. Down there, they had people out of the audience refereeing, like up and coming, Alex Ramos was one of them back then. He was a Yankee. He was just coming up to be, if you look him up, Alex Ramos. He had the Yankee pinstripes and that. Well, he was one of our referees. I think he might have been in Carlos. The picture might have him in there.
Okay.
I think Alex Ramos. He was an up and coming heavyweight back then at that time from New York.
Okay.
Them or somebody out of the gym. Like somebody can. Knows about boxing and all and do, and then you have people out of the audience judge them.
Wow!
It was in the gym. They would collect money in the gym. They ran it illegal. So God forbid, if somebody got hurt, they'd have to worry about if you had to go to the emergency room, they had to worry about something like that. That's why they didn't try to overmatch people or to get knocked out. If they got knocked out, you'd have to worry about they have to go to the emergency room, they're going to tell them, don't tell me out of here, things like that. It was illegal.
Okay, so you had about 125, 130 amateur, 125?
And then, but it was in the Bronx, Manhattan, back in the day, back then.
Yeah.
Manhattan, mostly not so much Manhattan. It was, Harlem.
Okay.
Teddy would bring us to Harlem.
Yeah.
All in cities.
Yeah.
The Bronx, back then they were wild and crazy.
Oh yeah.
And Harlem. Yeah, we went to shows in there. They were all like, smokers, if you want to call them that.
Wow.
They weren't legal, AAU. So it was all illegal. So we had a lot of fights like that. We'd go down every Saturday.
Yeah.
Drive down with us, the guys in the gym, most of them that were able to fight, that were, could fight.
Okay.
There's some that were in the gym that weren't. Tell you wouldn't bring, because they're not ready. They're not. They can't. You didn't want to put them in there and rush them. But there was my brother, Greg, and my uncle Kevin. Then it was Maine and Darren. We were all more of that. We were able to fight. We learned more.
Yeah.
We could fight. There was other ones that. They were in the gym, but they weren't ready to fight, and Teddy didn't feel that they were ready to, give them fights, get them fights. Like I look at these guys in the gym now, I'm not going in no corner with anybody I don't feel that's ready to get them hurt, number one, and number two, I don't want to look bad, because whatever a fighter does reflects on me. So if he looks bad, and they're going to say, what the hell is that guy showing him? He shouldn't even be in the ring and all that. So I tell these guys here, I will not be in nobody's corner. If I don't feel that you're ready, and you don't show me nothing in here during sparring and, with people, different people and all that, and show me something in here, I won't go in their corners. So they're, as far as the only one I really have been, is Faye. That's it. And if I have to go less than Faye, but I had Faye, I'm not gonna go. I won't be in the corners. They can't do at least.
There you have it. Don't show up here half stepping. If you're gonna get the secret sauce from Coach Iron Mullet, you have to mean business. You gotta stand on business, and that's great.
Because like I said, whatever you do, you win, I win. You lose, I lose.
Okay.
Everything reflects off me, like everything. With coaches in baseball, the coach always goes back, they shouldn't act like, So I get the blame for things. And so if they're looking like really bad, and I'm not in, what the hell?
Did you go pro?
Yeah, I was pro. I had a pro, but I didn't turn pro. I quit when I was like 18, 19, because the problem with Teddy and Mike and Cus. When the gym broke up, everybody left the gym because Teddy was our trainer. Kevin Rooney wasn't our trainer, and that's who was left to do the training. They had Kevin, and then had Mike, and then Mike was away in national tournaments with Kevin Rooney. So, you know, we weren't. My brothers and my uncles, they didn't agree with Cus and all that, so they didn't. They stopped. I stayed.
Yeah.
I tried to stretch it out. I work all day with my father with construction, and then come here at 4:30, work out, and then Kevin Rooney's not here, and you know I'm not going nowhere and training every day. Well, no sparring. There was nobody here to spar with, so I'm coming to work out, but you know I'm not going nowhere. So I wound up saying, well, ain't no sense in wasting my time. So I quit about 18, about 19, and when the stuff happened with Cus and Teddy and that, and Jim, you know, or happened with Mike and Cus, or not with Kevin.
With Mike and Teddy.
Mike and Cus. I mean,
it was Mike and Teddy. The incident, you mean?
no, but after Mike and Teddy, you know, the gym broke up.
Oh, okay.
Totally.
Yeah.
But when Cus and Kevin, I came back after Cus passed away. I came back, and then that's when Mike basically left the gym.
Okay.
So when he left, I lived right down the street here. I moved.
Yeah.
I had my son. My son at that time, he was not even a year old. So I told my wife at that time, I said, I was 25 then. It was like maybe a 6-year lapse when I left from the gym. I didn't have 6
Now,
years.
before we go all the way up there to the future, I want you to tell everybody about how when Kevin Rooney took you and Mike to one of the nationals, didn't you guys sleep together or something?
Yeah, I tell people I slept with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I'll
tell our viewers this story about how you slept with Mike.
Well, we went to a national tournament. I can't remember where it was. I think it was in Ohio, maybe it might have been. I can't remember where it was. But anyway, it was just me and Mike in the tournament, and then Kevin Rooney was the coach, you know, at the time because Teddy wasn't around anymore. Okay. So in the hotel, they had 2 beds, and you know, back then I didn't know you can ask for a cot, you know, like they would give you an extra. So we didn't know that. So Kevin Rooney had to have his bed. He wasn't sleeping with nobody, so there was one bed there. And so I had to bunk up with Mike. Yeah. So I slept on the bottom where his feet were, you know, and he slept on the top. But he didn't really sleep because he was up most of the night. You hear him all night in the shadow box and in the mirror in the bathroom.
Fire.
So I didn't really sleep with him, but you know, I make a joke.
It's a funny story.
I slept with Mike Tyson, you know.
Yeah.
Back then, but in the tournament. Then in the Empire State Games, that was my last fight. Was with Teddy. Was trying to get into the Empire State Games again.
Okay. In the city?
No, they don't have them no more. It was like an Olympics.
Oh.
They had everything. You know, they stopped it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Olympics. You know, if you go to Olympics, they had all swimming, diving, all that. But all that. Well, they had boxing.
What was that, for the USA?
No, it was just up in Saratoga.
New York?
Syracuse. It was held in Syracuse that year.
Yeah.
83, I fought. And I got a silver.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I tried to go again. That was the time that Teddy was leaving, told us that I was up in the Archive Fieldhouse, I think it was, the hockey place. And it was the night of Alexa Aguelo was fighting Aaron Pryor, #1, the first fight.
Okay.
And he was fighting, you know, it was on TV that night and at the fights. And that was my last fight with Teddy. And was going to the Empire State Games for the second time to get in it. And I didn't make it. The guy, first round, he slammed his head right into my nose.
Yeah.
Like, he came with his head in the butt of me, and I couldn't breathe on the one side because basically what it came out to be was a hematoma. Then when I went to the left, you know, the doctors.
Awesome.
It had I finished the fight, but I couldn't breathe. I wasn't breathing. I couldn't breathe on one side. It was all plugged up. It didn't bleed. It was just like a blood clot inside your nose. It went, so I had to get it drained.
Did it stop the Iron Mullet? No, it didn't.
I fought. I finished the fight, but it was a southpaw too. It's an awkward, knowing that it's if you don't, southpaws are hard to fight. If you don't train for them, fight, practice for them. I wouldn't know if he was a southpaw.
Yeah.
We don't have southpaws in our gym. Cus didn't really care for southpaws. He tried to change people if they were left, and make them, so he didn't care for them. They didn't like them.
Wow.
So, but so we didn't really have to train for it. But that's not an excuse with him being a southpaw. But when he slammed his head, he came right in, slammed his head right into my nose. It came headbutt, and it just didn't bleed. It just plugged up. I couldn't breathe.
Oh wow.
It was on one side. I couldn't breathe. So I finished the fight, but I didn't get the decision.
Yeah.
That's the last time me and Teddy were together.
Oh.
Yeah, and after that, that was all the stuff. I can tell you the whole story about why, what happened and left, but we didn't know exactly until later on, after it was done, what really happened. But we just know that Teddy was leaving, and that was his last fight, and he told us that he's with us, and that we're no longer being a champion.
So at that time, then
Kevin stayed.
Kevin took over basically.
They gave Kevin was in charge of Mike.
Yeah.
And so he was away in tournaments, nationals or something like that.
Yeah.
And Kevin was with him, so nobody was here to take me to fights anymore.
Oh wow.
So I wasn't fighting no more. So I'm coming in to train after 4:30, working all day with my father, and my father was a mason, so I was the labor from block work, doing blocks. He laid foundations, built. And so I mixed the mud all day, wheeled it, scaffolding, set up scaffolding, and all that. I was a little guy at the time too. Yeah. 106 pounds.
Wait, what weight did you fight when you were fighting?
119 bantamweight.
Yeah.
So I was a small guy when I fought. In amateur. It was hard to gain weight, but when I got older, and turned pro, I was up to 119.
Yeah.
106 when I was little, but I couldn't gain weight.
Were you fast?
I think so.
Yeah, that's cool.
I would like to think so anyway. But I'm the more of an aggressive fighter. See, people think that Peekaboo is for everybody. It's not for every fighter. Okay. You can't use it for a Peekaboo. If you think about it, Cus, with his fighters that he had, like Patterson and Jose Torres, they were fighters that came forward. They didn't box. They didn't move around. So yes, Cus would tell us, boxing is to hit and not get hit. But so you protect yourself by not trying to get hit clean. It's not like you're gonna not get hit off the head and off the glove and catch you on the thing. But you don't want to get hit clean, so you try to avoid it. So, but you don't want to run around and run so you don't get hit. I didn't like that. So I never liked boxers. The boxers like Ali back then, Sugar Ray Leonard. But now, if you look at Sugar Ray, he was good. He was a good fighter at the time. I'm a Durant fan, so that's who I.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, if you could credit like a fighter that you liked, or
that's who I tried to mimic. Durant.
Durant, that was your guy.
And then later on, when Mike came, because me and my brothers were here about a year, maybe a little longer than a year. We were already in the gym before Mike came.
Okay.
So I didn't know Mike came and started fighting because of Durant. But me and Mike were like this.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stories of me and Mike what we did, and people didn't know what we did.
Yeah.
So like, what goes on with his farm now,
Yeah.
But Mike would watch me.
Yeah.
Because he liked my style.
Okay.
But I didn't know that it was Durant that he got in. And I told I don't know if I really told him Durant. I like Durant and all that. But if I did, that's when he started watching me, because I'm an aggressive fighter. All the guys in the gym, they do the boxing and move their head and move around and move too much moving. Okay. I have to cut them down. You have to cut. Peekaboo is more like, if you think about it, it's more come forward and cut. You have to cut the other opponent down. A lot of guys they box, run, move. So if you don't know how to cut the ring down, if you're a puncher, you know, a hard puncher, you can't get to that, you know, get close enough to throw them punches that they mean nothing.
Okay.
They keep, especially a good boxer could keep a good puncher out. If you can keep him out, you can't get in and get them punches off. What good is it? You can hit hard if you can't get them up. Like, look at example I'll use with Mike when he fought Buster Douglas. Mike made it a little easier because he, you know, didn't think he was going to go knock him out, but, you know, the jab, when, you know, kept Mike away. He couldn't get in. He couldn't get close enough to let them hard, punches, you know, go. If you can't get in, where are you going to hit with them punches? So Buster did what he did was like a kryptonite to Mike. A boxer, a jab. You keep the jab and keep him out. Don't let him in.
Yeah.
But you got to be on your bike. You got to be moving and throwing that jab. And you don't want to lay in front of Mike. You know, you don't want to lay in a punch. You don't want to be sit there and be stopping where you give him that chance to hit you. So you got to keep moving. But you keep that jab, he can't get in. And then Buster Douglas had a good jab.
Yeah.
You know, he had a sharp jab.
But just so everyone knows, Mike won that fight. We all know what happened with the count.
Listen, that count shouldn't even been there anyway.
Yeah.
You know, if that's the case. But, you know, I don't think, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to argue, but that count don't mean nothing. That ain't why he lost.
Okay.
You know, come on. He lost the fight. He was losing the fight. He was getting the best because he chose to train the way he trained. He made it easier for him to get do what he did. So to make an excuse because of a second or whatever, I don't even believe a second. I don't know when I hear that shit. I've watched.
It was like 3 seconds, man.
You know. Did you have the time clock? Did it show the time clock, or was it just a big clock?
I want to ask you too. Was Mike really like how they say he was? Was he that focused? Was he?
All he wanted to do was train and go home, watch fights. Because I was in the dressing room after working out, and when we were in the dressing room one night, and it's summertime, and it don't get dark until 8, 9 o'clock at that time, and we were at the gym by 6 o'clock almost. So we were getting dressed, and I said, Mike, let's go find some girls, right? Go hang out with some girls. And he goes, no. Girls will fuck your life and your career up. That's what he told me. I was like, all right.
Fire.
That's what he told me. And he's right in that dressing room. And what happened years later?
Yeah.
Listen to what he told me.
I know.
Yeah, he said them words to me.
Yeah.
Girls will fuck your life and your career up. Okay.
And
he go home.
So fire. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
But me and Mike were like this.
Yeah.
Because we did a lot of things. We hung out. I brought him to my friend's house. But we didn't. We were serious when we had fights coming up. We didn't do any things bad, anything like that. But when we do things, it was like a everyday thing. But we did things that people don't know. Now you can see what we were all doing. I can say it now because he does what he does now.
Yeah.
So.
When you guys were young, when you guys were here, you guys used to go to Cus's house to watch videos, fights, and all that. Because I know.
Well, yeah.
They had a big collection.
They had the reels. He had the reels, big reels with the whole fights on it, and you had to watch them on the screen. But I didn't really. I watched them a couple times, but I wasn't into that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to watch old fights. I'm not learning from them. I don't want to fight like them.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. I don't want to look at somebody. I'm not going to fight like them guys. They're like where they're throwing, holding their hand. I don't want to fight like that. I mean, nobody fights like that these days.
Did Teddy get upset when you used to try and switch it up your way and come outside of the traditional Cus style of fighting?
Well, in a way, yeah, because he didn't like. Because I used to box my brother, and Cus gave him the name Master. My brother Greg was called the Master because he had to slip in and like a pivot and move around and just do it and straight punches, no hooks, it's like straight punches and moving, slipping. Which, hey, that's how you move and get out of the way of your punch. That's you, and that's the way you want to. I don't want to do that. I didn't want to do things like that. I wanted to be my style, but I wanted my hands up to protect myself, and I would counterpunch. Get inside and be more aggressive and come forward. Like, that's why Mike liked, because that's how he fought and wanted to fight.
What name did they give you?
Mighty Mike.
Mighty Mike?
Mighty Mike.
Mighty Mite?
Mike, M-I-G-H-T.
M-I-G-H-T.
Mike. That's what Cus gave me. That was my nickname.
Really?
Well, he gave me the name.
Yeah.
So, and the reason for that is because he didn't know what I was going to do when I got older. It might be something, it might be, because I was I had the potential. Joe Colangelo was here. He'll tell you about what Cus thought about me.
Really?
He said if I was only a heavyweight, he used to tell Joe Colangelo, if I was only a heavyweight.
Really?
I was a little guy then.
It seems like Cus was just, he loved heavyweights.
Yeah, well, that's because of the way I fought, and I would come forward, like I said. Well, I was sparring with my brother at the time, and I would come in. I like to come in and then bang the body, and the body, when you go to the body, it takes a lot out of the guy's legs, and so I like to work the body and come up to the head. So I would get closer to and work the body, cut him off in the ring, and my brother wasn't my brother. When he was in there, I don't know.
Goodness.
He's not my brother.
Oh,
I was trying to knock him out. I hurt him. And that's how we fought. Even with anybody else. When you go in here, ain't your friend, ain't no brother, ain't no sister, whatever you want, you don't see that.
Okay.
So you're trying to knock him out. You're trying to hurt him. And that's it.
So he did to his own brother.
Yeah. I didn't care. It didn't matter.
That's right.
So, I was doing one time being inside and counterpunching my brother and getting the best of my brother, put it that way.
Okay.
And Teddy got mad, saying, "Move your head after you punch, like weave or something." I'm not weaving. I don't have to weave. I'm counterpunching. I'm catching him, and I'm not, and he's not hitting me because I'm protecting myself like we were taught. Mm-hmm. Our hands come back in the front of our face, but just because I'm not moving around and doing this, and doing this, he got mad because I was getting the best of my brother at that time. I know I was.
Okay.
And so he said that, and so then I finished the last round. I went like this, like how you would mimic somebody, and that I started doing like my brother. And doing that, and I finished for 30 seconds of the round, and at the round was done, Daddy goes, "You look good there." I said, "I think I look like shit." And then he says, "Come here, take the gloves off of me." And he says, "Don't tell me what you think." He says, "Get out of here." He kicked me out of the gym, right? Got mad at me. So I was going back that way out of the ring right here and over to the dressing room right there. The glove come past my head that he threw at me. And then as I was going into the door, he come up, running out of the ring, and he kicked me up in my ass. and then followed me into the thing. And, scolded me there.
Yeah.
Same thing. And I was out of the gym for like a month. I had to come back and apologize to him.
Yeah.
He wasn't apologizing to me, and so I wanted to go back, but I didn't.
And now you're that trainer.
Yeah. So, but there's things that I didn't agree with, and everybody's not gonna have the same thing. You got to tweak things and do things. It's not everybody's not gonna fight the same.
Okay.
But you want to. What I took from that is certain things that. For my strengths, it's going to work for me, how I feel fight. So my hands, I kept my hands the way, up in front of my face, but I didn't keep them like this.
Yeah.
And then close and like this, and have your head down like this, and be square. Okay. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And if I taught these kids the way we were taught, they would say, "What the hell? You have no power." Mm-hmm. So I tweak things. It's like everything. As years go on, things are different. Cars are different styles.
Well, Floyd Patterson was of that club as well, right? He felt it was too squared up. He wanted to.
But he had his feet a little bit not square. No, I think like I said, I didn't really watch them.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight like Floyd Patterson. they're older. I wanted to fight somebody that was close to me. So a little older than me. Duran is a little older than me. He was like in his 20s then, probably, when I was in my 15s, you know? So, yeah, 20s probably, yeah, you would think.
So he's closer to age to
you know, I was
from your generation.
Style, yeah, around my, so I'm not going to fight like Rocky Marciano and Floyd Patterson. So I didn't agree with it. So what you were showing me is not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I took the stuff that's you know, that would help me and then tweak things. Open up the arms a little bit, hands up, away from your face.
Alright guys, so I mean we could go all night with the Iron Mullet here and ask him a million questions. And actually we're gonna have like a series, different parts of this, like conversations with Coach. If you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask Coach, just put them in the comments and the next video we'll ask them. But just keep your eyes open because we're gonna have more content for you guys, and we hope you enjoyed our conversations, and we'll see you soon. Anything you want to add to your viewers, Coach?
I'll see you next time.
Yeah, and don't come here if you don't mean business.
If you're not serious.
If you're not serious, come here meaning business. If you want the Iron Mullet stamp of approval, you know.
Yeah, because I don't want nobody just coming here just to learn it and try to learn it, and they're not even, and they don't watch boxing, never fought, and they just come out. There's guys that come in the gym here, they want to be boxers. So I asked them, did you fight? Did you box? You know, how old are you? First I asked them how old they are. They tell you 20. Oh, 20? You know, someone was 27. I said, okay, you watch boxing? A little bit, not. What made you want to decide? Did you just wake up this morning and say, I think I want to be a boxer? Why would you want to? What made you think? So that tells me a lot about the person right there. You know, oh, okay, you're 27, today you just say you want to become a boxer. That's, you know, I can't tell someone that they can't do it, you know, you're not going to do it. Yeah. But what I will tell them, at that age and stuff like that, they ain't never been on anything, time ain't on your side, put it that way. That's what I'm going to tell you right now, time ain't on your side. Okay. You have to prove me different, that I'm wrong. But I'm just telling you, time ain't on your side. You have no fights, you never thought about boxing, you don't watch boxing, so what makes you think you're going to be a fighter? And then 2 tests, I'm not going to waste my time working with somebody, put my time, heart, and show them things. If you can't get that down, we ain't moving any further. And if you do get that down, that doesn't mean nothing anyway. When you get the, you know, doing all this, the big test is when you get in the ring. Okay. When you get in the ring, if you can't do what you learn on the outside, and you can't do it in the ring, what good is it? Okay. You could be calm, relax, have your meds, and look good, but this is the test in the ring. And when you don't, that's why we'll find out where you're going to be. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Where, you know, if you got it, if you don't got it. And I ain't got, you know, we were brought up, you know, because back in our days that, you know, the minds and brains are a little slower than the kids these days, are more advanced and all that. Okay. You should be able to pick up things quicker than me at my time and age, okay? These kids, you know, they're 19 and 20 years old. You should be able to pick things up. If you can't get your feet right, everything on the top is not, it's like your feet are your foundation. So if your foundation ain't right, everything on top you build off of that is going to be off, you know, like that, off, you know, your feet, you can't throw a punch. So if you can't get that down, that's, you know, the form itself, there ain't no sense of moving any further.
Coach, I appreciate you so much, man.
But,
guys, I hope you enjoyed the interview. See you soon. Cut!